Welcome, I'm Clement Pepe. Today I'm going to talk about basically the statement that I share at the end of each of my videos. You may know that, you may not if you're new here. If you've been here a while, you've probably seen it already. But basically it's live the life you love and love the life you live. Now I've said that quite a bit, and I thought maybe it's a good idea to break that down a little bit. So that's what we're going to do today. You know, I'm a big proponent on not only teaching people what to do, but really how to do it. One of the things that when I was working on myself, and I've been working on myself for a lot of years now, and what I really used to get frustrated with a little bit was a lot of people would tell me what to do, but not basically explain how to do it. And so I'd be left out in the lurch trying to figure out how do I do what they're telling me what to do. So when I put this work together, one of the things I committed to was not only teach people what to do, but how to do it in simple steps. So I'm a basics kind of guy, if you will. So that's what we're going to talk about today. How to live the life you love and how to love the life you live. Now, first off, one of the things I want to say about how to live the life you love is, and it's imperative. This is not a nice idea. This is not something you may want to do or you may not to do. But we have to have goals in our life. We have to have goals or dreams or aspirations or things that we want to be or we want to do or we want to have. We need to have those. If we're not, we're like I don't know if you remember the old pinball machines where you would have like an iron little dodo or whatever it was called, marble or something, and you would pull the pin back and it would take the marble up over the board there in the pinball. And there would be these bumpers up on the top of the pinball. You'd have flippers on the side of the machine, but there would be these bumpers up on the top. And those bumpers, when the ball hit that, it just ricocheted to another one. It didn't really, you had no control over those bumpers. And then when it hit the other one, it bounced it over to here. And then it bounced it over to there. And it was bouncing it off the side, etc. So it would just bounce everything around. You had no control over it. Well, I say that's what happens when we don't have set goals. And we're going to talk about how to do that and what's a good principle on putting it together. But if you're going to live the life you love, you have to be in control of it. Now, the other part of the pinball machine are the flippers. Now, when the pinball, the ball got to those areas where the flipper, you could flip the switch and then you can aim that ball wherever you want it to go. That's really what our lives need to be like. We need to have control over it rather than just the bumper where it just bumps it over here, bumps it over there, bumps it over here. And if we don't have a set outcome of what we want to create in our lives, that's what's pretty much going to happen. We're going to be bumping all over the place and wondering what's going on here. And then life doesn't become so much of fun, it becomes more of a chore or a burden because we're no longer in control of it. We're now the effect of it, if you will. And so goals is so important to have. And all those areas of your life that are important to you, whether they be your financial goals, whether they be your spiritual goals, whether they be your health and fitness goals, whether it be your relationship goals, material goals, things that you want to be, do, or have, we need to have them and we need to write them down. Writing, handwriting, not typing in a computer, but writing is so important for our creativity and our ability to create those goals. So if you're not writing, then you need to start. Because again, we've got so many other apparatuses now. We can text, we can email, we can do the Word document. We can do all those things. But the best way for you to get into your brain that which you want to work on is to actually write them down. And when you write them down, you also need to schedule action steps to get there. So the goal is not only just an idea of something you want to have or do or be, it's also you need to make a plan on how you're going to do that. Because if it's just written down, it now just becomes one more list that we have. And so we need to write it down and then set up action steps that we're going to take in order to reach that goal. So, and then we actually then need to calendar. We've talked about this before. We need to schedule these things in our calendars. And if you don't use an electronic calendar now, you're really missing the boat, I think, because that's the easiest way to remind yourself to do these things. So if you have a goal, we'll say for exercise. I use the exercise because I think we can all relate to that. But we have a lot of different goals. But if you have a goal to exercise, then you need to go to your calendar and set in that calendar your weekly activity that's going to be in alignment with that goal. I'm going to exercise at this time, this day of the week. I'm going to exercise at this time, at this day of the week for this length of time, et cetera, et cetera. So now it's no longer a nice idea. It's an appointment. Just like any other appointment that you have that you deem as important to you, you're most likely going to show up at that appointment. Same with your goal for whatever it is that you're going to want to create. You need to have it as an appointment. And again, each time you're doing those action steps, you're going to feel better. Do you ever notice that? When you do something you said you were going to do, whether it be difficult for you in your mind or easy in your mind, whatever, when you do it, notice that you feel a lot better about you, about life, about whatever. You've got yourself more of a up feeling. When you don't do something you said you were going to do, notice how you feel then. You feel probably more down, disappointed, lethargy. You name it. It's some negative reaction most times that when we're not doing what we said we were going to do. And so that's why we want to make sure that when we have these goals and we have a timeline of when we're going to do them, we want to make sure that we're doing them. And what takes it to get done is us just taking the first step, just starting whatever that practice is that we need to practice, the action step that we need to take to do what we need to do. And the more that we're doing that, the better we're feeling. And the better we're feeling, the more we're doing. And the more we're doing, the better we're feeling. So it just becomes more of fun than it becomes of a chore or a burden, perhaps, you see. And that's why I say live the life you love. Because as you're doing these things, and you're committing to them, you're writing them down, you're calendaring them, you're taking the actions you say you want to take to get there, life is going to be a lot more fun than when you're not doing it, or when you're allowing yourself to be like the bumpers on the pinball machine. You're just letting life do what it wants to do. So if you want to live the life you love, you got to set it up of what it is that you want and taking the actions to get there. And those actions are the part that you're going to really love. It's not the getting there. It really isn't. I know we seem to think it is. When I get there, then I'll be happy, or then I'll be fulfilled, or then I'll do this or have that. No, it's the action steps that's the key to all of it. It's when you are doing what it is you said you want to do, then now the outcome will automatically occur. But when that outcome occurs, that's when you need to set a new goal. You can't just revel in that. You can enjoy it. You can have peace with it. You can do whatever you want to do it. But you need to set more goals, because goals are that which it is that is going to keep the energy up, the enthusiasm up. You getting what you said you wanted, and you doing what you need to do to get what you said you want to get. So that's how you live the life you love. Now let's talk about loving the life you live. does that mean now that you're taking every action that you need to take and you're going to get everything in life that you want? You think that means that? If you do, I want to go to your church because you got a better life than I do. There's going to be some times when you don't have what you want. There's going to be some times that life doesn't give you everything you want. There'll be times that life is not going to show up exactly the way you think it should be. You know, John Lennon, I think, said it best in a song. He said, life is what happens while you're busy making other plans. And sometimes that happens. But we have to come from a place of, how do I make the best of the way that it is? There's a great statement. Things turn out best for those who make the best of the way things turn out. So if you're taking these actions and you're getting to a place and that place isn't what your goal was meant to be, or some things happened along the way to get you off track or to disappoint you or to upset you or overwhelm you, etc. You got to get to that place that's called, how do I make the best of the way that it is? Because that's all we have in the moment. We don't have how we think it should have been. We don't have how we wished it was. We only have what is. And so when we're operating from things turn out best for those who make the best of the way that things turn out, now we can work on what we need to work on. You know, there's an interesting mythical story, a Greek myth. It's about a fellow named Sisyphus. Now, don't ask me how to spell that, by the way. But Sisyphus apparently upset one or more of the gods, you see. And so in the punishment that was given to Sisyphus, he was condemned to all eternity, long time, all eternity, to push a boulder up a hill. And when that boulder got to the top of the hill and he pushed it, it would roll back down again. And Sisyphus had to go back and push that boulder back up the hill. When it there, he went back. All eternity, he had to do it. Long time, right? But the interesting thing happened with all this. There was a gentleman there with someone else that was watching this go on. And the one fellow said to the other, he said, you know, I don't understand it. He's condemned for all eternity to push this boulder up the hill, and it's going to come back down, and he's got to push it back up for all eternity, long time. But yet, he doesn't seem to be having a problem. He doesn't seem to be upset about it. He doesn't seem to be angry. And the other guy said, you know why that is? He said, because he has surrendered to, this is the way that it is. And that's what we have to do. Not surrender, give up, but surrender like, okay, this is what is. How do I make the best of what is? You say. And so when you're in that place, then it isn't overwhelming. It isn't burdensome. It isn't anger. It's looking for a way to make what is the way I would like it to be. Now you're putting all your attention, all your focus on something that you have power over, rather than something that you don't have power over. And when we do that, again, now we're living the life we love and loving the life we live. Because even in the face of those things, hate is not a good place to be. We've got to surrender to, this is the way that it is. How do I make the best of it? And then we're taking more actions toward having it be the way we want it to be, etc. Now we're back on that path of actions, create results, create freedom, create feelings higher, etc., etc. So all of this is how we live the life we love the life we live. Now, I want to share a little bit about the Facebook experience here. As you know, there's a few things that really help the Facebook live presentation. One of them is this, is that if you like what you're seeing, go ahead and put like on the bottom of the screen there. If you have any comments, you want to say anything about the video, go ahead and put a comment there. Or if you want to share, if you want to send it out to your feed, then go ahead and send it out to your feed. That'll give this opportunity here, not only for the space that we're doing here, but really out into the world as we know it. So please do that. It really helps us out here. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is power technology, the coaching program that I put together. You know, I've been, again, coaching people for, again, almost 29 years now. And I'm pretty proud of that, by the way. You know, I mentioned that number only because I think that, you know, when I'm able to do something that I love, and I do love what I do for a living, when I do that, it's kind of like, yeah, I'll do it for the rest of my life. But the coaching is really an opportunity for my student or my client to really learn some things that they don't know. And then when I'm teaching them that and I'm sharing that with the coaching itself and helping them get past some of the things that may stop them or slow them down, my clients are having extraordinary results in their lives. And things of making twice as much, 3 times as much, 5 times as much more money, having better relationship, having better health, having better feelings of happiness and joy. And so if you or someone you know is at a place they want to take it to a whole other level, then get in touch with me. I offer free consultation and self-analysis. All the contact information is at the description of this video on Facebook. Or also the Power Technology Coaching Academy. The Academy is me now teaching others on how to be a coach using this technology that we've been putting together and using over the last 29 plus years. And you then become certified in that so they can make the kind of difference. They can change their lifestyle. They can change their career. They can make a difference out there in the world. My clients, my students are getting more and more joy. And by the way, I've got one student that 1 month after he graduated, and there's a coaching period in that where I coach the student how to be successful in the coaching practice. Not only teaching them about the coaching, but teaching them how. Again, I love to teach how to do things. A month after he graduated, he's gotten all his money back from what he put into this. Now, that's not a bad investment. 1 month later, and now everything else is gravy to him, but he's having a ball doing the work that he's doing and coaching others and teaching them the tools and techniques and practices and principles he's up to out there. So if you're interested or you know someone is interested in taking a look at Power Technology Coaching Academy, again, the contact information is on the description of this video here. But now, in conclusion, with regards to living the life you love, loving the life you live, it's like anything else that we're ever going to talk about. In order to master something, we have to practice mastering that something. So you have to practice writing down your goals. You have to practice putting them in your calendar as appointments. You have to practice doing that which you need to do to get going on that first step of taking the action toward the goal. You have to practice when you're in a situation and it doesn't look the way you thought it was supposed to look. You asking yourself that question: how do I make the best of the way that it is? And you keep practicing that and practicing. And by the way, you know how long you have to practice this? For the rest of your life. Because if we're not practicing effective habits, we're probably going to be practicing ineffective habits. So we have to consciously practice effective habits. And that's the purpose of these videos that I've been putting together. It's the purpose of the work that I've been doing all these years, is to give people tools and techniques and practices and principles that they can practice, very simple tools that they can practice so that they can have the kind of life that they love. And so start today with this work that we've just talked about, and start today to write it down, calendar it, start the actions, whatever it is that you're up to, whatever you've been dreaming about, whatever you've been thinking about, whatever you've been wishing. No longer dream, no longer wish, no longer want. Now be in action. And until next time, live the life you love and love the life you live.